Hello there people, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about the future of Sonic the Hedgehog, because everybody loves the future of Sonic the Hedgehog. So the Chaotix Case Files has just started, and it's actually been very good so far. I think my favorite part is this little section where Jet is about to hit a truck because he decided to turn around while gloating at Vector the crocodile's face, and Vector has to do his hero moment and save Jet the Hawk from getting hit by a car, just like birds do in real life. And it's introducing characters like Tangle and Whisper. They're going to be introduced the next episode, which is going to be amazing. Oh my god, I cannot explain to you how exciting this is going to be because of how many doors this opens up for the Sonic series. This means that Sonic characters from pretty much anywhere in the franchise, as long as Sega wants to actually take them, will eventually come with the games. Now, here's the problem. Not a lot of people are actually supporting an audio drama, which is kind of disappointing because people have been wanting a spin-off piece of media for years. But the issue with this piece of spin-off media is that expression and how the characters move is very important to the identity of Sonic. So when people don't spend time looking at the faces, they aren't getting that, I don't know how to describe it. They aren't getting that thing that they are looking for. I think it's called serotonin. Serotonin is a pretty good part to say. And this is a huge problem for pretty much everybody who likes IDW or any of the Sonic characters for that matter. One of the few things that we have to remember is that Sega is looking at the numbers. This isn't a thing where they think they're going to get a whole bunch of money from ad revenue on YouTube. I don't think there's ever been a single time where they thought they were gonna get ad revenue on YouTube. But a thing that you have to understand is that these numbers, if they don't get a major bump when Tangle and Whisper actually get introduced, I don't think that those characters are actually going to appear in games. Like, really think about it for a second. Sally and them have never appeared in a game, and that's not just because there's a lot of rights issues with Archie and all that stuff, and the time they tried to add a couple of characters from Archie, not even like the actual characters but the concepts, they got sued into basically oblivion. It's not only that, it's that the comics don't really sell that well if you look at them going forward. I think it's only like 5k to 13k comic from what I remember seeing on the last sales charts that I looked at, but that's besides the point. One of the other problems that you have with introducing Tangle and Whisper in this way is not that you won't make your money back. You'll make your money back in spades. I'm pretty sure about this. But the issue is that when you have characters that you're introducing for the first time in a medium that's only audio, and not all of your reader base has read the comics, you're going to have visualization issues. Now, what do I mean by visualization issues? So basically, when I say visualization issues, when you close your eyes and you imagine an apple, do you see an apple in your brain? A lot of people cannot do that. Some people will see the word apple in their brain, and when you don't have a physical representation of what a person can see in their head when they hear a word, hear a sentence, or maybe even hear a fight scene going on, you're going to have a lot of issues attempting to paint a picture of that character without explaining exactly what they're doing, which you cannot do that all the time, especially in an audio drama where every second that you're explaining something is a second where the story is not progressing in someone's head. What I mean by scale is that you don't know how far things are from each other, so when you have people getting to things like the Chaotix Copter, especially in Sonic's world, because Sonic's world does not have an actual map that you can visualize or look at and you can't measure distance from. Like, really think about it. In the world of Sonic, how many of these actual word maps or this world map actually fit together from all the different games? Like, very few of these world maps in these games actually fit together and actually make sense on a worldwide scale when you actually look at them all together. If my theory is correct that the mystery of this actual Chaotix Case Files is going to be the Mimic, and the Mimic is a octopus that is connected to Whisper because during the events of Sonic Forces, their entire team got murdered by the Mimic Mimic the Octopus. His name is Mimic the Octopus, but I keep thinking the Mimic because I play FNAF games. So, no, my bad. But basically, there's a lot of story there between them that you can explain in a way that makes sense, but it will not feel satisfying if it is actually the Mimic, because you're going to want Whisper and Mimic to interact inside of the series itself. So you're going to have to make Whisper and Tangle come along for this Chaotix ride, or when they split off, they have to be actually helping with the case in some way for it to make sense. Because if it is the Mimic, well then you're going to be very flabbergasted by the fact that they are in along for the ride, so you get those character moments between Whisper, Tangle, and the Mimic. Because although Tangle doesn't have as much of a connection to the Mimic as Whisper does, Tangle's connection to Whisper actually makes it to the fact, or to the point, where the Mimic is actually a threat to Tangle and Whisper, because, you know, Tangle cares about Whisper so much. So in the next part of Chaotix Case Files, which is really good, okay, I've already mentioned how good it is, my favorite part, I've already mentioned all that. But the next place they're going is to Tangle and Whisper, who live in a place called Spiral Hill Museum. So basically, Spiral Hill Museum is one of the places where another one of Tangle's friends work, and if an astroscopic lens gets stolen away from there, we're going to get a voice for Jewel the Beetle. I love how characters interact with each other, but they have to make the history understandable for these visual readers. So are we going to get a flashback within a flashback within a flashback that connects to another flashback in this third episode? I know that we are going to definitely get introductions to these characters, but I don't know how strong or how good these introductions are going to be, because these introductions make or break characters. Silver still can't get off the ground, even though Silver has a lot of potential because his first game was so bad. A lot of people also don't like the Deadly Six because their first game was so bad. So, you know, they're taking swings, they're taking risk, but is that risk actually going to make these characters likable? I think they are going to be likable personality wise, but a lot of Sonic fans only care about the superficial parts of a character. This is very apparent by the fact that they don't understand the Zeddy at all, or understand Zavok and the way he operates at all, right? So, like, the main thing you're going to worry about is, are their voices going to be annoying? Are they going to get enough screen time for you to be endeared by them, right? People are very, very, very nonchalant about the idea of these characters being voiced. I'm very scared because it's so easy to fuck up a character called Whisper that it's not even like funny. It's not funny at all, man. It's so easy to fuck up a character called Whisper that it's not even funny, man. Oh my god. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk about today is the fact that this is a moment to celebrate. The Chaotix are first in a long line of spin-offs to actually be a medium where you can hear a character's voice, right? All of our other spin-offs are based around Sonic. Sonic is in the project very heavily, right? Now, Sonic is in the Chaotix Case Files. I'm not going to deny that, but he's not a core part. He is a side character sitting there on the side, just watching from the sidelines as he gets cut by all of the Chaotix adventure, you know? So that's completely different. So I'm very, very happy about the fact that Sonic's not the main character in this thing, and he's just a side character who's listening to Vector tell his story. And I'm also happy that Eggman is a antagonist, but he's not the main antagonist, because you're trying to figure out who the assailant is who's stealing all the astroscopic lenses. So, like, this is something to celebrate. I just hope it does well. I hope it does well. I hope they don't botch Silver. I mean, not that they will botch Silver. It's hard to botch Silver now because, you know, you can't ruin Silver more than his first appearance did. All you can do is go up. But with Whisper, Tangle, potentially Jewel the Beetle, and Mimic the Octopus, there's so much that we can do right here, and it's going to be so much fun. Thank you for listening to me talk about the Chaotix Case Files and all my issues with it. If you have any issues with the Chaotix Case Files, go ahead and comment them down below. Maybe I'll do a hot takes video on the Chaotix Case Files when we're completely finished with all our lore gathering from the entire series as a whole. Anyway, bye.